Good morning everybody. It is the 1st of January 2025, 9:13 a.m. Wednesday. I'd like to wish you all a very happy, prosperous, healthy new year, and I hope the year brings everything for you that you wanted. I'm just stepping into the living room, so let me just turn the light on in here, because it's a bit of a dark place. There we go. Right, I've not done many videos just lately. There's been a lot of changes here. As I've mentioned before, we've had Martin's health has been a bit of an issue. That is still ongoing. And I've just been sort of taking a step back and looking after me for a change. There's been a lot of stressful things going on the past year. But we've got some news to share with you. The first bit of news is we're not going to be moving. Not this year anyway. We do still have plans to move at some point, but our plans have taken a change. So they're completely out of our hands at the moment. So what's happened to change our plans? If you've been following my videos, you'll know over the past few years, Martin's parents have, who were living in France, had both started to develop dementia. They're 87 years old now. And there has been several occasions. I'm going to go back through into the other room, actually. I think the light in here isn't particularly good. There has been, and things had got to the stage where they no longer wanted to live in France. They wanted to come back to the UK. And we have tried twice now to relocate them here. And earlier last year, well, the year before, we actually, I'm just going to let the dogs out. The year before, we actually looked at buying and siting a mobile home static caravan here for them. And they were all for the idea. We found one, we put a deposit down, etc, etc. Did a video of it, sent it to them, and they turned us down flat. They decided no, that wasn't what they wanted. Fast forward a year, and their health started to decline further. And Martin went over to France, ended up bringing them back here. I think they were with us for about 6 weeks. And it was awful. It was an absolute nightmare. His dad wasn't well. His mum wasn't well. She was on so many different drugs. She was angry and nasty, and she took all that out on me. To the point where we couldn't have them here in the house anymore. And they returned to France. That was in April last year. That was the day I had my accident where I messed up my hand. As you can see, it's still sort of fairly messed up. Anyway, throughout the rest of the year, they continued to say they wanted to come back to the UK. We knew they wouldn't have the finances to buy somewhere in the UK. Eventually, they'd managed to accept an offer on their house in France, and they were moving back in November. Yeah, November. They were moving. Everything was being packed up, and they were coming back, and they were going to be staying with. They decided they were going to stay with one of my daughters in Northamptonshire. I tried speaking to my daughter. I'm not on the best of terms with her, but anyway, I tried speaking to her and her husband, me and Martin both did, and advising them against this because we knew how advanced their dementia was and how difficult they were to look after. But they were adamant that they could cope. So everything was packed up, their stuff put in storage. They came over to the UK. They took them out looking at park home, mobile home things that were sited on sites. And that was going to be the plan. It seemed they chose one, but the one they chose, it has since come to light. Their offer had been accepted on it. The person was having a house built, so it wasn't going to be available for a long, long time yet. And things deteriorated at my daughter's. The behaviour of Martin's parents got too much for her and she couldn't cope. And the weekend before Christmas we had... sorry, just had a bit of an interruption there. The weekend before Christmas we got the phone calls that Martin's parents, Janice and Matthew, couldn't stay there any longer. And they had to be removed. And it was, what do we do? We tried having them here before, it didn't work. They'd become unbearable to live with at my daughter's. There was nowhere for them to go. If social services had been involved, which was what my daughter was looking at doing, then social services would have, God knows where they'd have put them. They wouldn't have been together. They would have been separated out and assessed and put away somewhere. Social services would have taken control through the courts of their finances and their future decisions on life. So we spoke with my daughter and her husband and Martin's brother, who lived a lot closer over there than what we were here. And he went to visit his parents, and he said that they were just, things were totally out of control. They'd only been there 4 weeks, I think, coming up 5 weeks. So we said, right, hold tight until let's get Christmas out of the way, and then we will look at getting a mobile home static here and bring them straight up and move them into it. That was the plan. That was on the Saturday or the Sunday before Christmas. And then the night before Christmas Eve, or the day before Christmas Eve, that afternoon, we got a phone call from my daughter saying, that's it, I've had no choice, I've had to phone social services and they're going to be removed tomorrow. So Martin and me had a chat. They were going to be removed on Christmas Eve. That's what my daughter was arranging. They're going to be removed by social services. So we had a bit of a chat, and I just said to Martin, just go and fetch them. Go and fetch them, just bring them here. I know we've been down this route before. And that was another interruption. Where was I? Yes, so I said to Martin, you just have to go and fetch them, bring them here. We'll deal with it, whatever happens. But we can't have them going into the care of social services. So Martin left here at 3 a.m. in the morning on Christmas Eve, and he got there for about 8:30, I think. We've told his parents to get everything packed. I don't think they really understood. They hadn't really packed, but we told my daughter as well that he was coming to fetch them. And his brother was going to meet him there. So anyway, after an hour or so, he managed to get them into the car with their belongings, and they headed back here. So Christmas Eve afternoon, Martin's parents arrived here. It totally threw all our plans out the window. And it's, yeah, Christmas Day we carried on as with our plans as normal, taking the dogs to the beach. We took his parents along as well. And of course the plan is now to site a mobile home here, and they will move in it. We can't really do anything till all the Christmas and New Year is out of the way and everything, because places are closed and, you know, there's too much organisation to do. So things have been, I just thought there was a dog there waiting to come in. Things have been calm, a lot calmer than the last time they were here. Last time they were here, it was sort of all very, very tense, very aggressive. I'm well aware it's only been a week, and after a few weeks, I know the relationship will start to become rocky and things will break down. But they know they're going into a mobile home, and we're going to have the mobile home sited. I'll show you on another video when the weather's nice enough to get outside. The mobile home is going to be sited out there. We're going to put a fence around it, give them their own little garden as well. They're both actually quite excited about it all. So it's just been a very sort of subdued, quiet Christmas here. And trying to get them, they haven't got appropriate clothing or footwear for here. The clothing they've come with tends to be summer weight clothing. So we've had them out shopping to buy some better clothing and footwear. And just trying to get them into a routine, assessing how independent they are and assessing how much help they'll need. We've got them registered with doctors. The difference is this time to last time. When they were here last time, his mum was on a horrendous amount of drugs from the French doctors. They were telling her she had kidney problems and she had all sorts of things wrong, and she was basically drugged up. Our doctors here took her off all that medication, and so it was the period of withdrawal when things got really, really difficult here, and we didn't have a support network in place. This time round, of course, she's not on any medications, and so she's a lot calmer, she's a lot more pleasant, but the next step, of course, is to get them both assessed for their dementia and get them whatever assistance they need. So hopefully within the next few weeks, we will have a mobile home sited here and they'll be in it. So, of course, this means we can't move. It would be very unfair of us to put the place on the market later on this year, having only just settled them in and expecting them to move again. You know, they're 87, coming up to 88. So we have to consider their needs at the moment. So our plans are not going to be continuing. But that's not all bad. I mean, yeah, we were moving because of an issue with the neighbour over there, but we're just avoiding it. We don't have anything to do with them. And that's the way it will stay. And it's not like they're noisy, but it's just them being there was making things difficult, and meeting them on the driveway was making things difficult. So we're just going to continue as we are. So my priority at the moment is to get the polytunnels all up and running, because I now have to produce veg for 5 of us, because as I've mentioned, we've got somebody here who's staying here in his van in return for doing a bit of work for us, and I provide him with some meat and some vegetables, etc. So now I need to be providing for 5 of us. So the polytunnels have got to be up and running to their maximum capacity. But I've also made the decision this year is going to be, there's going to be a lot more self-care for me. I'm going to be signing up at the local leisure centre, and I'm going to be going swimming a couple of times a week, waiting to get down there and do my membership now, and then I can start doing that. So that'll be a bit of me time, which is what I think I need. I need a bit of time where I can get away. I'm also going to continue with my initial plans for the small holding that we had when we first moved here. And I'll say more about that in future videos. But one of the plans was I wanted what we call the main arena field, which is the field just outside the house here. I wanted to plant up specialised flower beds. Right, yeah, I want to do some specialist flower beds. I want to do a nice big rose bed. I want to do a big hydrangea bed, and just things like that. And that was always my plan out there, but it's never come to fruition. We're also going to have a pond dug. And I'd like to do a few more willow structures, growing willow structures as well. So I'm going to do things like that. But I want to do cut flower beds as well. Yesterday when I was in town, I was picking up some of the bulbs that were on offer. So I've got them ones. I've got 3 packs of those. And alliums. I love alliums. And I got 3 packs of those. I've been ordering some seeds specifically for cut flower beds, and they've been arriving. So I've got seeds coming. I've got a few more seed packets to come. So I'm going to continue with my plans and do things out there that bring me joy. As you know, in my last video, one of my last videos, I mentioned I was no longer doing workshops. So I've been shuffling my workspaces around, and that was before Martin's parents got here. And I was reorganising, putting different units into my sewing room upstairs and taking the big quilting frame down to the cabin. So they're going to become my spaces. And I've also got myself a lovely book. And in fact, I got myself 2 lovely books. These were my Christmas presents to myself. I got that one, Forager's Almanac, which I'm hopefully going to go sort of through the year and be able to pull out a lot of information from it. And the other one I've got A Woman's Garden, and this has got lots of projects in it, and ways to use your garden, you know, to enhance your life, you know, edible flowers, using plants for making soaps, and cosmetics, and tea garden, you know, all sorts of things like that. So that is they're my 2 books that I've got for me, and a dyer. It's got a dyeing section in it as well, and that's something that I've always wanted to do, is have a whole bed just made up for dyeing plants. So there's going to be a lot more self-care in my department, and because that's the only way I can stop this whole situation becoming a stress burden to me. So I've just had his mum down making a cup of tea.
That's the cappuccino.
water and a bit of milk.
A hard water and a bit of milk.
Yeah.
Right, can I have that just to wipe my nose?
Yeah.
Please. Because I've not got a hanky in this. There. Now then, I'll tuck you in there. This is the tea one, isn't it? So
Yes,
that's me.
that's the tea one, yeah.
The tea.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, this is the cappuccino.
Long time since I've made a cappuccino.
A little bit more water.
Yeah.
That'll do.
Will it?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes. You'll never know the difference. I'm not very good with my right hand. I'm a lot better with my left hand. Come on, come on. Do you usually put a splash on
Just
the top?
a very little splash, yeah.
Because that's what I do at home.
There you go.
And he thinks he's got a lot. That's your milk. Does your milk go away in the fridge?
I'll put it away in the fridge,
Thank
yeah.
you, dear. That's his cappuccino. And I'm just going to take the tea bag out of mine.
Do you want a clean spoon?
Oh, what did?
Do you want another spoon?
No, I'm going to
No?
do it with
Okay.
one. That's mine anyway.
It
the
is yours,
tea.
yeah. And the tea bag goes in here.
But it's only had one quick tea bag.
That's okay.
Don't
There we go.
thank you, dear.
And that will go in the compost heap to help the vegetables grow.
Yeah.
She can manage little tasks that are used to her day-to-day living, and I'm trying to keep them going. So making the tea, helping to prepare vegetables. She does her little bit of ironing on their things, and she keeps their bedroom, their space clean and tidy. So it's, yes, trying to keep her occupied. Next week, hopefully, we'll have some new glasses for her, which will make things a lot easier because, again, she's lost her glasses, which has been an ongoing battle. We had this last time, and she can't see without her glasses. So we will get a couple of spare pairs of glasses, so we won't end up in this situation again where she can't see. Something else I'm doing is, I don't know, it's the lighting in this house, it's terrible, isn't it? I've been finishing off, this is a bit of hand embroidery. So I've been spending my evenings doing, let's turn around that way, doing bits like that. I've got another one on the go over here. Where is it? There it is. So, yeah, so I'm trying to get them bits, just things I can sit and do in the evening. Yeah, his mum is hoping to be able to do some knitting. I'd like to keep her occupied and skills going for as long as possible. So that's all very, very important. And because it helps to keep her calm, it's when she sits there and she's got nothing to occupy her that things become very difficult. So that's the start of our year. not the start we were planning, not what we were hoping for. But we just got to make the best of it. So there'll be lots and lots of updates as we get this mobile home in place and I make a start with things out in the garden. The buffalo are still going. We're not keeping the buffalo. The work involved is just going to be too much for us. Of course, I decided not to put my goats to kid this year because I was hoping we were going to be putting the place up for sale in the spring. So I'm now on the hunt for a goat who's in kid or one that has just kidded. So I'm on the hunt for that. I have ordered some chicks, meat birds, to be picked up end of the month. The pigs will be going in the next few weeks. I've got them clearing another part of ground for me at the moment. So they'll be getting booked in and gone in the next couple of weeks. So, yeah, it's just on with the show. We can't do any more than that. So, take care, everybody. Have yourself a brilliant year. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like, and for notifications. I'm hoping to include a lot more of the how we're dealing with the dementia side of things. And that little clock you saw at the beginning, that's a clock I got for his mum and dad to use, and it's called a dementia clock. And it tells them when it's morning, afternoon, or morning, noon, afternoon, morning, yeah, noon, afternoon, evening, night time. Gives them the day of the week and everything, and it's nice, big. So when they walk in the door, in the room, they can see it straight away. So it's a constant visual reminder there for them what time of day it is. And so that's very helpful as well. And yes, as time goes on, there'll be other little bits and pieces that we will do to help them both out and keep them as independent as possible for as long as possible. So take care, and I'll catch up with you again soon.